Okay, so now is an interesting part of the training is that you'll see now that you understand what the three main cycles are in a relationship where couples get caught, and long term that creates just continued distress, not feeling fulfilled, not feeling connected. And long term, if that's not addressed, that's the kind of stuff that can even lead to divorce, right? Especially when it turns to that withdrawal cycle that we talked about, the third one. So we're going to show you another little video. Well, actually, you'll have to go on YouTube again and see a little video. Then we'll talk about that together afterwards. So we are showing you a video this time. The link will pop up on the screen here. And it's actually a video from a movie with Jennifer Aniston and keep forgetting his name. Vince Vaughn, Vince Vaughn. And they've done many movies together, but this one is called The Breakup, and it's an old movie, but there's a scene in there that's the kitchen scene that they have a huge blow up, and it's just before their breakup, and they actually are demonstrating a clear pursue withdraw cycle, which is the most common one. But it's heightened because this pursue withdraw cycle has been there for a long time in their relationship. So you see a very heightened version of that, how it can look like when there's been accumulation of years of resentment that's built up from that cycle. So take some time now to go watch that. So you can either type in the link, or if you don't want to, just Google on YouTube, put The Breakup kitchen scene.
Yeah.
And the video, there's two versions of it. One is shorter, but go watch the 4.5 minute one. So it's 4 minutes 39 or something like that.
39 seconds, yeah.
So pause the video here, go check that out, and come back to join us after.
Okay, welcome back. So you just watched the kitchen scene from The Breakup, and I bet you found it pretty interesting if you haven't seen the movie before, especially after having reviewed what the three most common negative cycles are, and this, or I should say that the three negative cycles, and this is the most common of the three. So we want to break it down a little bit for you, just to kind of review and see how to apply, some of the learnings that you did to this video clip. So I'm just going to ask Tina some questions around it, and because typically in our live weekend retreats we would be having conversations with our couples, but in this case I'm just going to have a conversation with my wife.
And it's for also to prepare you for your exercise that you'll be doing after, where you'll be reflecting on your own moves in your own cycle. So this will prompt you a little bit more information to be able to do that.
Yeah, the more experience you have seeing what a pursue withdraw cycle looks like, or a withdraw cycle looks like, the easier it is to identify when you're in yours. So we'll start off just by saying, honey, who was the pursuer and who was the withdrawer in this scene?
Okay, well, clearly Hope, Jennifer Aniston's role, was the pursuer. You can see her coming in. She's definitely deflated in the beginning of the video. It's just like, she really needed him. And then she goes in, right? And she, one after another, it's like complaints and criticism of things that she needs that he's not getting. So that's very much of a pursuer stance, where they just need that recognition that they are seen, that they're valued. And he's the withdrawer. He's a withdrawer, but he's a withdrawer that has a form. He's not like a passive withdrawer who will just shut down and pull away. He might have been that way at some point in the relationship. My guess is that, when I guess these stuff, I go based on my experience with couples.
Yeah.
He might have been that way at some point, and now he's just fed up with the criticism, and he now is a withdrawer because he's still not engaging emotionally with her. He's still kind of shutting her off, taking the not really defense. It's kind of like a defense. So he's a withdrawer that's more defensive. So it can come out almost as an attack at times, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so So yeah, but he's still a withdrawer because he's not, and you can see at some point he even withdrew by trying to switch it to humor. He made a joke and he tried to like reconnect
Yeah,
that way,
right.
but not acknowledging what she was actually
Yeah.
really trying to say to him because it wasn't clear to him what she was really trying to say. 'Cause that's what happens in cycles. There's no way he can get her message when she's coming in that way, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and well put. And I was thinking, so Jennifer Aniston's character is asking him, like, let's just, I just need you right now. She can clearly identify what that is. He had needs too, but as a withdrawer, he's more likely to be independent in satisfying his own basic needs or his own emotional needs. And he said, all I need is just to sit on this couch. And that he was, in his own way, identifying what his needs were.
Right.
But he wasn't asking for her to meet them.
Right.
But she was asking for him to meet hers, which is often how it works in a pursue-withdraw cycle. So he has this independent mindset, but she has an interdependent mindset, and somewhere in the middle is the best place for their relationship. So,
right. So, and just to pull on that, if he were to ask his need in the way that it were more interdependent, how would that have looked like in that moment? Instead of saying, I'm just really...
Yeah, just leave me alone for a while. I just need my own stuff.
He didn't say that.
No, but that's what he was implying. Just I can't do it right now, just that kind of thing. But she was like, I need you. And he was saying, I need to be alone.
Right, so that, in the sense that right now, like if you would have said that in an interdependent way, it's like, I get you. Mm-hmm. I want to help you. I'm also very tired right now, too.
Yeah.
And can I just take...
He kind of did say that.
He did say that, but she wasn't at a good place because of the resentment that builds up, right?
That's right. That's the cycle.
Yeah.
Right. If it was the very first time that they ever talked to each other like that, she would have said, okay, well, that's fine. Mm-hmm. But it sounds like it wasn't.
No, and that's why she couldn't respond to that.
Yeah.
Because he did try initially, but it wasn't present. Right?
Yeah,
it's
no,
kind of
that's
like
true.
Still with the
he didn't
with the remotes in his hand, not even looking at her.
exactly.
It's just like, not right now, not right now, and just that can throw off a pursuer who is in that moment needing just some, hey, we just had a big supper and I'm not feeling very validated right now or appreciated because you're not even looking at me as I'm asking you for help. Yeah. Right. So that's all part of the dynamic that got them caught.
Yeah. Escalated, and then it was pretty heightened. Mm-hmm. So what would you say, honey, are the main emotions that Hope was going through? Like, what are the main emotional points or feelings that Hope was experiencing?
Right. Well, I think we touched on some here, but I just have some written down here. Obviously, the emotions you saw from her was the anger. I mean, anger was there. She was disappointed. You could also sense that hopelessness in her too. Like, this is never going to change.
Right.
And the hurt. And that's that hopelessness at that point that made her walk away at the end and say, I'm done, right? It's that sense of hopelessness that have crept in. This is not just from this incident, right? This is like...
This is older.
This is older.
Yeah.
This is what a cycle does after a while. Mm-hmm. And in those feelings, she takes on the moves that she takes on, right? To show this is that the criticism that we saw is the blaming him, is the demanding, the yelling. Mm-hmm. And of course, that's the part that he can't take, right? That's the part that he can't respond to, is the criticism and the blaming and the yelling and the, like, he can't respond to that and see what's underneath that, the emotions that's underneath that for her. Or maybe if he does see the disappointment, it feeds into his trigger of maybe being not enough for her, right?
Mm-hmm. Which would make him withdraw further.
Mm-hmm, exactly.
Or attack back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And defend, because
right.
You saw him at some point. It's just like, I've been showing up for you and helping. Like, he has also that part that's not been feeling validated in the relationship, not being recognized. Like, he has his own things that he's been unsatisfied with in the relationship, right?
That's right. So, well, let's go to him. What's the emotional world that he's experiencing at that time, or through that clip that we saw?
Yeah, so in the clip, you can definitely see his frustration come out. is helplessness. He just couldn't figure out what she needed from him. It's like, oh my gosh, if it's not about the lemons, if it's not about the ballet, what is it about?
Which, as a withdrawer, we withdrawers love to fix stuff because we want to get it over as soon as possible. And I'm not sure that's exactly what he was doing, but sometimes the goal is like, if I can just identify this, I can meet her need, and then I'm done, and then I can go back to playing video games. Right. But that's not really, sometimes when someone is asking for you to be present with them, and I need you right now, they might not be able to identify and list all the needs that I have right now so you can meet them quickly and go back to playing video games. She needed actually to do some processing with him present. That's why maybe why she was asking for him, because there was stuff going on and maybe it just wasn't clear. And sometimes we need to process it with somebody in order to figure that out.
Yeah, but as the pursuer who's burnt out like she was, that's what happens, right? There's no way he could process any of that, because now it's like the list comes out of all the past disappointments where she needed him and he wasn't there. And now it's just like washing down on him and knocking the wind out of him, right? And he can't process any of that. So of course the frustration is coming out for him, the sense of helplessness, confusion. Also, you saw a lot of confusion in him. That's not rare. Like I see withdrawers say that all the time with my couples, like, I don't know, like, she lost me at hello. Like it was like, I don't know after that where that was coming from or what she's trying to tell me. I get confused. There's too much thrown at me. They start to feel anxious and they can't be present anymore. And so that brings out a sense of powerlessness and anger. So you saw a lot of those emotions with him. So the moves that he takes when these feelings are coming up for him is the defense. You saw a lot of that defense, the dismissing her, like dismissing, what she was talking about, minimizing what she was saying. Wasn't that important? Even the humor he used, that's another move for him. Those are to deflect, to try to, like Michael was saying earlier, make the conversation stop, make it end so they can not be in this very tense place. And anger is also another move that he took. And of course, the more she saw him do that, the impact on her is that the more she would feel not important. The more he would do the move of dismissing, the more she would feel not important. He's not hearing me, and that feeds more of that attachment needs, the attachment needs for her that are not being met, right? Which are for her, are you there for me? Am I important to you? Can I count on you? Those are the attachment needs for her that weren't met, that just kept being fueled by some of the moves that he was taking as a withdrawer to stop the conversation, stop the fight, to prevent things from moving, to escalate. But at the end, as we know in a cycle now, those moves just make that escalation continue.
So each person is now triggering each person. And so there's no one paying attention to what's happening to us right now, because they're both totally engulfed in their own lack of needs being met and emotions getting heightened. Now there's no one saying, look what's happening to us, and one person stepping out of that move and offering an alternative move that might be more softer or more kind of emotionally risk-taking. So now they're just going ding, 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 up we go the ladder.
And that's so important what you're saying there, right? Because that's what, after this exercise that you're going to do together, that's the first step in starting to be, once you're aware of your cycle, then you can start stepping out of it, which is what you'll be learning how to do for the rest of the session, stepping out of it and preventing it and repairing when it will happen once in a while. You can't avoid that.
Even with us, it happens.
Of course.
But, when you have both people paying attention to the possibility of getting hooked into your cycle, you're much more likely to be able to identify it early and put things into place to be able to unhook from it and then process it later. But when nobody is paying attention to what's going on between us, then off we go into the same cycle and same patterns that have been going on for years.
You're swept up in it, right? Every single time, I just want to end because I talked about Hope's attachment
Yeah,
needs that
how
you can
about
see
Gary?
there. Yeah, Gary also had attachment needs that you can tell there, and that wasn't being met for him. And for him, it was, you know, it's about, do you see me? Am I important to you? He also had that element, am I important to you? Because I don't feel like I'm doing anything right.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Am I enough? Am I enough even though I'm not perfect and I didn't bring you the 12 lemons, right? Am I enough? Right? Can you accept me with my imperfections? Needing to know, needing to have some reassurance that she loves him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's it's a great, I think it's a great tool to use to look at that pursue withdraw cycle. And perhaps, you know, through our conversation that we just had, it'll be helpful for you when you look at your own.
Mm-hmm.